As I begin our devotional this week, I want to apologize. Last week I had begun a devotional and actually had it done, and then, as many of you know in lacrosse, the power went out and was out for most of the night. And to be honest, I just simply forgot until the middle of the end of the week to finish it and publish it. So, what I'm doing is, if you'll notice in your email, there are two email thoughts, this one and the one from the previous week. But in some ways, I almost wonder if the two don't go together. This week, I talked about Jesus and his encounter with the Canaanite woman and what seems to be a very harsh response on Jesus' part. But I make the case that the reason it seems that way is because our minds are darkened and we tend to think of the negative, the dark, the ungodly things that we attribute to God. And as I tried to make the case in this sermon, that what we're not seeing is the purpose of God and the purpose of Jesus in this account. And that if we look at the big picture, Jesus is kind, compassionate, open, welcoming. This aberration, this difference in Jesus here has a purpose. And it's not to say that he's cruel, rejecting, or harsh, but to say that he's trying in some way to draw this woman even closer to him, to receive the gift that he has to give. And the reason I think this ties in with last week's message is because last week we talked about coming to God, coming to Jesus. But I think sometimes we hesitate to come because we have that darkened idea of God. We see him as judge and waiting to do terrible things to us if we mess up, if we do anything wrong. And we forget the essence of who Jesus is and the essence of who God is love, compassion, grace, forgiveness, restoration. That's what this is all about. And so if we are going to be free to come to this God, we need to be free of the darkness and our misinterpretations and our misperceptions of who God is. So this passage in Matthew 15 reminds us that we get it wrong about God. But when we get it right, we not only will come, we will come running with arms open, welcomed into the arms of this gracious, compassionate, loving, good God. So this week, I want to add to the previous devotional, and I would have you start with this. The first step is look at your images of God. And if you have images that seem to not be connected with the God who is love and compassion and grace, you need to reevaluate your image of God. And if we get it right, or as we grow to get it right, we will want to do what my other devotional thought says, and that is come. Open ourselves up to allow God to enter a heart that he's so ready to come into, so willing to be part of. He is there already. But we have to open our eyes, open our hearts to recognize his presence and his love and his grace that he wants to bestow upon us every moment of our lives. Again, may God bless you as you explore deeper your relationship with God this week, the God of love and mercy and grace, who invites you to come.